Alrighty boys, welcome back to another video, and today let's talk about it. Where is the big patch? What is going on? Can you give us an update? Do you know anything? I've been seeing a lot of these comments, okay? So here I am. I'm going to give you guys some updates. We're going to talk about some stuff that happened before, kind of videos that I made before. Just giving you a quick little update. I might do one of these like once a week. We'll see how it goes. Just to keep you informed on the Bannerlord updates, what's going on behind the scenes, what have I heard, and all of that in between, okay? And yeah, by the way, if you didn't know, my new upload schedule is every single day, 11 a.m. EST. 11 a.m. EST, okay? So that's the guaranteed video that you guys will get every single day. And if you don't mind, hitting like that bell or whatever that, you know how all those YouTubers say that. So I'd appreciate it, man. I'm in grind mode. I'm ready to, what I'm saying. I'm trying my best to put out the best content I can. And I see you guys supporting me a lot, and I do appreciate it. 11 a.m. EST, that's your guaranteed video. And like this video, sometimes I'll have extra videos in that in the same day as well. But 11 a.m. EST, show up and enjoy the content. I really appreciate it. All right, let's get right to it. So we're going to go over what the devs have said previously. We're going to go over the SteamDB page. Has seen some movement. I'm going to give my thoughts as a person who's been covering the Bannerlord development literally since it came out. Literally since the beta came out, I've been, since day one covering it. So I have a little bit of information how patches work, how updates work, and I can give you a better idea of that, right? So first, let's go a little bit back. We got June 1st, about 8 days ago. We have a person asking, where's the patch? And I've covered this before. The dev states working on, or the community manager, but the devs, community manager, pretty much same thing. You know what I mean? He just relays what the devs say, right? So he states working on it. The patch is still in testing phase. What does that mean? Testing phase, if for anybody who didn't know, this means that the patch is done. So when a big patch is in testing phase, that means the patch is done. What do I mean by done? The word done, I mean is all the major additions that they were going to add to this big patch have already been added. They're not going to add a whole new big system after they say they're in the testing phase. They're not going to test it, see some problems, and then say, hey, let's add this huge new feature in and delay the patch even longer. That's not what it is. All the major additions to that patch, whatever they are, we had some kind of inclinations of what they can be. Workshops are getting a good rework in this patch, as the dev have stated, and certain other things that we've seen. But mainly, big additions are already added. So the patch is done when it comes to additions. But the testing phase, here's how the testing phase works. So testing phase, or the QA, QA as this dev states as well, he says once it passes QA, that's when the next major patch is coming out. QA, or quality assurance, I like to say quality testing, QT. It sounds a little bit better, but it is what it is. QA, if that's what we're going by, that's fine. This means once all the major additions are added, the devs will have to run the game. They will have to have people play the game and go through this process. I don't know exactly what the process looks like on their side, but you go through the game, you play it, you see if there's any major crashes, any major bugs, game-breaking bugs, and if any of the major systems, if they're all still intact. Because obviously, a game like Bannerlord, which is a sandbox where different features play off different features, and it's a world that plays by itself, even if the player doesn't play, making even a minor change to something can literally change the whole game, really, if you think about it. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but a small economic change, let's say, for example, like they're working on workshops, a small economic workshop change can drastically change how the whole economy works because everything is interconnected. It might not be shown to the player, but all these things are interconnected because workshops make the products. Then the products go to, the towns, and the towns sell them, and the caravans trade them, then the lords buy them. It's all interconnected. So you have to check all of those features, see if the game is in a stable condition to where a player can play it without any extremely bad, how can I say this, things happening. You know what I mean? Obviously, there will still be bugs, you know what I mean? Obviously, and that's what the forums are there for you to go and say, hey, I'm having a bug with this, I'm having a problem with this, and the devs will check it out, and then they will push a hotfix. That's technically how it works. But when it comes to testing, once you test everything, if it's not in a stable condition, if there are bugs that needs to get fixed, if there are crashes that needs to get fixed, if some of the stuff in the game stops working, they need to fix that before they push it out to the players, okay? And we saw one of these tests last week, a major test. This looks like a test, in my opinion, that tests pretty much everything in the game, almost everything in the game, as you can see. It even has like a little scroll wheel. And after this test, it looks like, since this was 10 days ago and we still don't have a patch, it looks like after they tested all of this, they have found some problems. So whenever you find some problems in testing, you have to go fix them, okay? And once you fix them, you have to test again. And you have to keep doing this process of testing, fixing the bugs, testing, fixing the bugs, until you come out with a good, stable version of the game. When you come out with a good, stable version of the game, where the player can play it without any major, game-ending bugs or crashes, well then, you push it out. You push the big patch out, right? And now, as we can see, we have another test. 9 hours ago, we have a test. It's a smaller test. Now, what this shows to me, okay, and I'm not no crazy developer, and I have no absolute knowledge of exactly what's going on their side. It looks like they tested all of this. They found some bugs in this part of the game right here, right? And they made changes. It took a little bit, took about 10 days to make those changes after the tests were run. And now they tested again 9 hours ago, okay? Now, if this test comes back good, well, guess what? We're going to get the patch very soon. Are we going to get it today, tomorrow, or Sunday? No, because the devs are still workers. You know what I mean? They still have to go home. They work their 5 days. I don't know how their schedules work, but usually in countries that are not America, and you know what I mean, where we have to grind set, baby, 7 days a week, 24/7. That culture is not, it's not the same in different parts of the world. So since they're based in Turkey, they probably have a 5-day work week, maybe a 4-day work week, and then they go home for the weekend. Like I feel like that's how everyone should do it. It makes sense. So they will not push out a big patch on today, Saturday or Sunday. They have in the past, but it's very, very rare, and it's usually not huge patches that get pushed out like this, okay? Now, why is that? First, they're not in the office, right? Second, if they do push it out on a Saturday, let's say there's like one person who could push it out, the problem with that is you leave time for the players to play the game and counter problems, and then sometimes those problems are so bad they need a hotfix ASAP. And if they don't get that hotfix out there, guess what? Players are going to lose interest in the game. They're going to get upset. They might even, uninstall and not play anymore. And that's going to ruin the player count. So as a developer, if you're looking at it with their eyes, they want to release a patch where they can make hotfixes as soon as, people play the game, go on the forums and say, this is a problem, this is a problem, this is a problem. And then they can fix it in hotfixes. So what I predict is they will release this between Monday to Thursday at the latest. Monday, Wednesday is kind of like I would say like the period when they usually release patches. Thursday sometimes, Friday sometimes, and Saturday extremely rare. So between Monday and Wednesday, I predict this patch will come out next week. If, this is a big if, this is a big if, this is a big if. I don't want anybody saying, oh, but you told me this later. This is a big if. If this came back all good, and the patch is in a stable condition, and they're ready to push it out, next week, between Monday through Thursday, I can see this patch coming out. But I have no information from the devs saying, this came out good. There's no equal sign here that says, equals good, patch ready to come out. So if this test went good, we'll see the patch very soon. If it didn't go good and there's still problems that need to get fixed, we're going to have to wait a little bit longer. And if I hear anything from the devs, I will let you guys know, as always. But yeah, that's pretty much the updates. Again, if these tests go good, we can see it next week, possibly. But if they need to do more testing, tis what it is. But the major additions to the patch, they're done. They're in the game. They're not going to add any more major additions to this big content update that is coming up next. I suspect it will be called 1.2. We shall see how that goes, or 1.2.0. But yeah, that will do it for me. That's your little updates. Hopefully that was informative, and I'll see you in the next one. By the way, 11 a.m. EST every single day. Show up, please. I appreciate it. Bye.